So Deric and Doc, what's this thumbnail going to look like?
D&D. What?
Screenshot. So what mess do we put together here?
I don't know, man. What's
Like
the through line
like yourself?
on this conversation? I think
Yeah.
it's really about, it's just about the messiness of trying to be on the internet and put out a product that people can relate to in a genuine way. I don't know. How does that sound? I think it's being somebody who wants to give back, but it's easy to get sidetracked or taken off course by your personal stuff, the personal stuff that it brings up, your need for attention, your need for, to be liked and all that stuff. It can get you can really get blinded by that, right? I think that's an artist's dilemma, don't you? I mean,
yeah,
that's an artist's dilemma.
Deric, I'll let you have second take at it, and then I'll shame you both.
I would expect nothing less there. I mean, Brian kind of just summed it up really well. The things that stand out to me, in addition to what he had said, is pursuing and creating based on like your pursuits and what you find interesting versus just what you think is going to get a rise out of people. And then also, like, we're three grown men on this on this Zoom, and we struggle with some of the comments that can come through the internet. So I don't know where to put a period at the end of that, but I think there's something really interesting that comes out of that.
And that's where I come in. I think it's the philosophers out there, especially the Stoics. I'm going to throw out Aristotle. He said, if you're going to influence,
let me get a pen. Let me get a pen.
No, get a tablet and a chisel. If you're going to influence somebody, you need three things. Okay, ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos, you have to be likable, so don't be a tool. Okay. Two, logos, what's the logic for your argument? Okay. And then pathos is the mindset of the person that you're talking to. You control two out of those three things, and it's like a slot machine. If you don't get all three of those things lining up, you're not going to influence somebody. I think people can.
The only asterisk I'm going to put on there is fuck the ethos part, the be likable part. I think I would change that to euthos. Be extremely you.
Well, that's the thing, is what is like
euthos. Okay, I can use that.
Fuck ethos. Euthos is where we need to be, because there's too many people that are trying to be ethos. And I think it fundamentally breaks your brain at some point or another. But the other dilemma is, with the internet that we have available to us in social media, it has become a job that people aspire to do. I want to be an influencer. I want to work on the internet. So instead of trying to, develop any tangible skills that get them there, they just want to go be famous. And I don't think that famous is a job description. However, if you want to go down that journey, I think just be so authentically yourself. And this is the thing, your tribe will appear. It just might take a few years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. But
it's a long tail.
Here's what I think we're talking about. I think we're kind of talking about, when you go into this, be careful not to sell your soul,
Yeah.
It's really just, that's kind of what it is in a nutshell, because there are so many little devil's bargains that you can make along the way that really do either, take your soul completely or chip away at it, where you really, there's a lot less of you left at the end of the process than what you started with.
Welcome to Bite Size Therapy Podcast with Dr. Brian Razzino. Dr. Brian Razzino has over 20 years of experience as a talk therapist, and he uses short videos dealing with mental health issues in order to connect and educate hundreds of thousands of people. On this show, Dr. Razzino will make reference to his short clip videos and do his best to explain the mental issue referenced and how it can be addressed. Dr. Razzino does not give medical advice, but hopes that he can help people understand what is going on mentally in order to go ask for clarification with their own personal mental health professional. Dr. Razzino, who is this guy?
This guy. So this is Pete Jansen's Deric, and Deric and I met Deric because I was trolling Deric actually.
Good for you.
I took one of his clips, which actually has kind of got its own life and story. Deric has his own TikTok channel, which is it's Bold Family, right, Deric?
BoldFam.
BoldFam. We'll put it right here.
You're doing and you're hitting the subscribers. You're getting a pretty good following there.
Yeah, it's been a decent trajectory the last little bit.
Yeah. So I credit myself with that because I stoked the controversy, and you know.
I think it really didn't start until you jumped in. So I mean, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
So Deric did something where he was complaining about his son, and it was I guess it was mainly in jest, right? But you know, there's always a strain of truth to these things.
No, he meant it.
He meant
every
it.
word.
He meant it. He's a hateful small.
In the most sinister of ways.
So I did one of the clips where he was kind of complaining about his son.
We'll put it right here.
Yeah.
Now, why did you do that, Dr. Razzino?
And then I said something about, you know, I told him to grow up basically, and
I think you said grow the fuck up. Just if we're gonna be,
yeah, you can.
We'll leave that in.
Grow the fuck up. Yeah. Just because I just was like, you know, there's lots of parents with more serious problems out there.
Yeah.
You know, give me a break was kind of the tone. And then Deric came back and he was just like, what the fuck?
What was the issue?
Paraphrasing. What was the issue?
Yeah.
So Pete, I my TikTok, I have a few different, like, you know, niches, if you want to call them
absolutely.
that. And one of them that's kind of put some heartbeat into the community is kind of like what do we want to call it? I don't want to call it truthful parenting because, you know, everyone has their own special truths. But
parents are all liars, kids are all liars.
I can put it here. I talk shit about children.
Okay.
Now the good and the bad side is every video I make is always up for viewers' interpretation, right? You could view it and see it through the lens of, wow, what a piece of shit dad. Other parents can sit and be like, wow, this guy's hilarious. These are the things that I go through on a daily basis. So the one that Brian responded to was a rant of, like, I started off, I was like, I'm going to talk shit about my 13-year-old son. And I've started a couple videos over the last year in that way, and they all perform really well. So I was definitely pandering to what I thought would work as an opener. And I went on just to complain about, like, normal things that teenagers do, but I was complaining from the lens of a parent. And, you know, Brian had done a response that pretty much was like, dude, you're a bitch for saying these things about your 13-year-old. Now the cool thing is that he and I connected afterwards and was able to kind of, like, be two people communicating versus a creator putting content out and someone responding to it. But oh yeah, man, like I've lit the internet on fire a handful of times, and this was just one.
Was there a lot of going back and forth in the comments? Please tell me you're getting into that. Oh, right.
Not between me and Brian. But people. Oh my god. Oh, dude, people are just horrendous with what they can say on the internet.
Absolutely.
But I just have a lot of fun with it. You know, the worse the comment, typically the funnier my response video is usually. So little do they know, they actually help fuel my content fire when they come at me.
No, you did something that I thought was hilarious. Where you read somebody's comment as them, and it was like a really melodramatic take on it. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I don't off the top of my head because
he does it so often.
I'm seriously, I do it.
God, your children, and you were like, it was, and then you were like, no, that's not quite it. And then
I do remember now. I remember that one. Yeah.
That was pretty funny, man. I thought that was really that was a good way to take that.
Well, that's usually how I clap back at those comments, is just kind of like making them feel so foolish for even saying it. Because being on TikTok has helped me refine my comedy a little bit too, because I never feel good when I'm mean in response. Like anytime I've done it before, like where I'll make the video and I've even posted the video and then I'll delete them because it's just the wrong angle. Like I don't want to those people that leave those comments are trying to make me hurt. I don't want to just reciprocate and make them hurt. And so it's been a cool like learning process for me too, to use my comedy for good and not use like my wit to hurt people.
Oh, I disagree. If they bring a knife, I come with a shotgun.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, Pete. These people, they do have knives, and I am the shotgun, and it's just not fair because I can back up. They want to keep attacking, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, I'm getting a little,
but it gets so many views. It gets so many views.
I'm gonna be a little melodramatic here, though. You never know who's sitting on the other side of that screen. They can post something and be like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit." And then if I just obliterate them, like, do they get obliterated on a daily basis anyways? And now I'm doing it. So I'd rather not contribute to that angle.
Well,
for them.
You're both in the mental health field, right?
No. I'm an idiot. Brian's a doctor, and together.
So basically, he's got all the.
You're an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur that is doing very well, from what I understand.
Yeah, I have a chocolate company. We're doing okay, but yeah, I'm not a chocolate. I wouldn't call myself a chocolatier. I'm an entrepreneur that has a wife that loves chocolate, so we started a chocolate company.
So the name of that chocolate company is
Wicked Bold.
Wicked Bold. Look at that.
Yeah, we just launched Walmart, actually. 800 stores across the country.
Very nice.
Damn. How'd you get into Walmart, man?
Grit and determination, Pete.
Did you have to go to Arkansas and the whole 9 yards?
No, we did a virtual pitch, so it was all done from the comfort of my home.
Oh, good for you.
Awesome,
That's
man.
I wonder if they ever upgraded.
You're pretty good at that. I bet you're good at the pitch. You didn't.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely the sales guy, because that's what I've been doing my whole life, anyways. Is selling, and then selling my own stuff has been the outspout of that.
How about that, Pete? Pete was in sales at Career Builder.
Hey guys, we're all selling. So if we're selling,
everybody's selling something.
Everybody's selling something. So let's talk about influence in selling. There's a difference between TikTok and YouTube. Everybody's trying to get in line for the short form content to eventually travel over to long form content. How do you guys see that? Because I mean, you got what, 700,000 on Bite Size Doctor, and then Deric, how many you got over following you in aggregate?
I think like 550 million.
And then and then on YouTube, right?
I don't know, man.
Just because you haven't.
I don't do anything on YouTube.
Yeah. So is it an age thing? Like, what's the difference between the two?
For me, it's community. Like I've gone to repost on YouTube before, but there's just not the same reach, and then the community is just shits. Not what I'm looking for. Instagram's the same thing for me though. I just really enjoy TikTok.
Yeah. Younger or?
I couldn't even well, no, because I mean my audience is probably about I'm 34, so I'm probably in that audience following of like 28 to 40. It's like 80% women that follow me. Obviously, look at me.
We're a pretty hot guy.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to say it out loud, but no, I don't
yes,
think
the table is rising.
I think I think TikTok is, they've really built something special with the way their algorithm works, where it just helps you find your people and helps your people find you, whatever that kind of corner of the internet is. YouTube, I think, is just a dinosaur trying to youngin itself up, and I don't know what Instagram is doing anymore. But I think they're all just now trying to catch up to TikTok. It's like, you know, when the pandemic happened and Zoom took off, what was the incumbent back then that had like GoToMeeting or whatever it was?
Yeah.
You know, they were the video maker, and then they couldn't keep the wave going because they just weren't innovating. So TikTok came through, innovated, and I think it helped a lot of people quickly find their audience. And I don't think that you can match that on YouTube or Instagram right now, organically anyways.
On the mental health side, Dr. Razzino, I mean, you're speaking to an audience there, because I work with a lot of clinical people, and they don't ever want to say anything because, you know, they're part of the boards, just like Dr. Razzino is. He's a trailbreaker, but he will speak to people, and he will give advice, but always check with your personal physician. Duly noted. He will in minute chunks, 2 minute, 3 minute chunks. He will go out there and he'll
bite size. Will you?
I think wait a minute. I never put that.
Little chunks out there.
So I think, the thing is, like, I think so Deric, I think you and I, we suffer the same sorts of issues in some ways where, it always depends on who's viewing what your content is and how they're going to interpret it. The risks for me are probably different than they are for you, Deric, in terms of, any kind of repercussions. Certainly, I definitely need to be careful. But here's the thing. I think, and I know a lot of people that feel like, no, I could never do that. Because they're just too anxious. They're too scared to say
to post content. Okay.
Post content and to have it taken the wrong way. And so what you usually get if you get somebody in the mental health industry talking, it's very scripted, it's very uptight, it's very close to the vest. You don't get, and it doesn't connect, or it doesn't feel real. And I think that's an important piece that we can bring to it. People are just, and when I talk to other therapists or other clinicians and I tell them that I'm on TikTok, you know what their reaction usually is?
Yeah, be careful.
No, it's usually like, wow, that's really cool. Which is totally unexpected. I would have thought it would have been that reaction. One guy was like, that's like, that's really innovative. And I was like, oh, thanks. I didn't really think about it like that. But I think there's a problem where I think we need people to get out of their comfort zones and try to connect with more people outside of the office and let them know, look, we're mental health professionals, we're psychologists, but we're people, and so we know what this is like, just like you. And there are some things that we've learned, and take what you can use and leave the rest, right? But there are people that are just so afraid to get out on that skinny branch, that they don't even come anywhere.
Well, it's also really hard. It's hard to be a content maker as well, because you've got to do it for the love of the process, not for the reception of what you might get in return from it. And that's where I noticed things started really popping off with my content, is when I actually stopped caring about what the reception was going to be, and I only did it because I had the love for the game.
Yeah.
Everything kind of changed at that point, but it's hard to get there if you don't just start at some point.
I feel like sometimes to that point, yeah, definitely, it's so there is some skill that's required. You do need to be able to, like, in a compact way, have a message,
be interesting
and grab somebody from, like, I don't know how many milliseconds you have to get their attention. And yeah, definitely a lot of people aren't good at that. So there is that barrier of entry for mental health professionals. It's just not what they do, But I was going to say, to your point about, what you feel passionate about, sometimes there is if things are quiet, or, maybe you haven't been getting views, or you're just bored, or you don't know what else to do, there is that temptation to pander and to, like, do the thing that, got hits before, or do the thing that's popular right now. And I don't usually feel like that good. First of all, I don't enjoy that. Like, I found myself doing that, like trying to do a version of something I did before, partly because it's like, I don't know, like people say one thing works, keep doing that one thing that works. But I don't really feel like that's, there isn't much.
Well, Doc, the one thing that works, it seems to me, is that, as Deric knows, parents don't, or the kids don't listen to their fucking parents. They listen to somebody else. So they're trying to connect with somebody out there, and their span of attention is so short that these role plays that are happening in under a minute, they're able to connect. Oh yeah, I'm feeling that way. Isn't that what's been happening, Dr. Razzino? Because you get the comments back that people say, yeah, that's the feeling.
Yep, I do. I think the trick is, it's very tricky, because you get different types of people. Some are much more open-minded and willing to also consider, their contribution to things, and that they're not, and that, it's not just the parents' fault, and they're not just a perpetual victim. that can go around, pointing the finger at everything that's wrong. There are people that are very level-headed, and I've seen people who are also mental health professionals in training themselves, going to graduate school, already in graduate programs or in undergrad, looking at psychology, and they follow my channel and they ask me questions and stuff like that. So, it's but then there are people that somebody who got mad. There was somebody who, like, this is how it can get kind of strange and not strange, but somebody who was like, who takes it like very personal, what I said, like I said to them, and how could I do that? And the trauma that they've experienced, and the pain and the suffering that I'm causing them with my post. And, like, it's sort of like this, how I'm like the most terrible person in the world for, something that I did or something that I said, the way that I said it, they didn't like it. And, that's a group that I've tried to have some back and forth with, but it's very difficult to get.
Well, yeah, well, that from you anyways, I can see that being like invalidating or like deconstructing their reality that they've built for themselves, and then you come in and it takes it all away. So I can see why I get the same thing with me. Some of like the angry responses is like, bro, like, I'm not your dad. Like, I get that you may have had a bad relationship with Papa Dukes, but the fact that I just said my kid's an asshole doesn't make me your father, and that's nothing about me.
That's right.
But Dr. Raz, though, at least what I saw on YouTube, maybe that's the older audience, but parents get defensive when you do those role plays, when you're mimicking a parent.
Yes.
They're like, oh, you're making fun of my parenting abilities.
I've had that too. Yeah, I've had people, parents come on there and sort of like,
call you woke.
No, they don't. Nobody's called me woke, actually.
I said it. You didn't.
But Deric, like, you get people who come on there and they get after you because of you're the bad parent. The kids. I do get some parents who come after me because they feel like I'm the whatever their projection is. I'm that professional who sits in their office and delivers judgments upon the population. And I have just given a verdict on their life and their parenting. And,
parenting is just too subjective. So it's so easy to pick apart the part that you don't want to agree with. And then there's really nothing else there is nothing a professional could say if you believe it in your heart to be something different, because there's like nothing objective about parenting, and it takes forever to see how it works. 20 years to see how your kid turns out.
Well, I would beg to differ on the objectivity thing. I think there is some objectivity in terms of
like measurements and milestones and
sure. And how to things. Here's the thing, though. I always talk with parents about risk, right? I talk about level of risk. So I don't like to say this is what you're doing and this is what is going to happen, right? Sometimes I am that emphatic if it's like a life or death kind of thing, and I really want somebody to take action on what I'm saying. I'll be more categorical about it. But what I say to parents, I say, you can continue to do that. First of all, there's an acknowledgement that I have no control over the situation. You're the parent. It's your family. All I can do is give you what you came for, which is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can continue to do that. Here's what I see as the risks. Like, here's the biggest risk, and then here's like the next biggest risk of what you're doing. Okay, and from there, I think families are a lot better able to hear what I have to say than if I'm saying you're doing this and this is what's going to happen because of what you're doing right now. That's a lot hard. I think that's too direct, and it makes people suddenly want to argue with you, right? Versus saying, this is the risk. It's also because that's the subjective element, right? And by subjective, I guess not subjective. What I mean is there's so much variety in situations and contexts and variety between families and family values and cultural values, that, we can really only safely talk about risks, because in some situations there won't be any problems attached with that. Or in some situations, yeah, you might have yelled at them, but like in your family, everybody yells, and they all like understand that it's like, part of just like, the culture of getting upset or passionate or whatever. But these things have a context to them. And so I can only talk about the risk. But there are people who will come on and they will say, and it's very tempting there, because I do want to clap back at them, but I have to be careful, because it's like you said, I have the shotgun, right? And they've got the knife, but I don't want to do that. But I have parents who come on there and say, it's usually around videos where something like terrible, like parents being really kind of like abusive to their child. And then the parent comes on and, they kind of want to say that, kids today are too weak, or things are too lax.
Oh God. That's like the shittiest thing.
The more structure, and
dude, I got a comment today. Actually, it's my most recent video that I posted on TikTok. This lady said,
Can we put it here? We have authorization. Okay.
She said, if my teenage, it was something along the lines of like, if my teenagers disrespected me, they'd die. If you never tolerate it, it never happens. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And it's like wild. And I think she was, I mean, obviously, I don't know if she'd literally murder her children, but like she said it like not ironically. And someone pointed out, they went to her page and it was just, her profile was like okay, you would say something like this just like based on her description.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those people like snowflakes, you're soft, children need to toughen up. It's like, no, maybe you could just stop being a fucking prick a little bit, like a little bit.
It's not like either all the way over here or all the way over here. And that's kind of how it gets cast, right? Black and white. But, I've had some interesting comments, and they're revealing comments. I think they're revealing. I mean, but and this is sort of like kind of what I want to say, but I don't say. One parent was like, I raise my kids that way, and one's a physician, and the other one goes to Harvard, and the third one's a lawyer. And what I want to say back to them is, boy, you've got some nice trophies there, don't you?
They all cry at night, Jennifer.
Yeah, and it doesn't have anything to do with the fact, but it has no relationship to like also their well-being or their happiness. All you've presented me with is achievements, which says something about, I think, about, our differences here. But I've also had a parent say to me, said in the comments section, his kids slap him when they don't like something he says. And I'm like, or slap him because he won't give him something. And I'm like, this parent's orientation is that if you talk to your child, they're going to abuse you. Like,
where does you're submissive at all? It must.
Like, where does that come from?
All over you.
Where does that come from? Like the equation of talking and being compassionate is weak, and you're immediately going to get victimized, right?
Yeah, Deric, how can anybody get pissed at Willy Wonka, man? But on your brands, what are they bitching at you about?
With not a lot of people know that I have chocolate. I haven't really talked about chocolate a lot on TikTok, because up until
just dirt boxes.
I retired from that business. Oh my God, that was way too much, way too quick. I was like, I can't do this shit. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think what we already said is, they see me and they just project, they see a dad. I don't know what I've always wanted to make a video about this, but it's too deep, and I don't even know if it would be funny or not. It actually wouldn't be funny, but it's like, why these people are projecting so much onto me, like why they are so unhappy that they have to like go and put their lives on me. It's wild.
I told you I did some, I don't know if I think I told you this, Deric, that I did some theater, and I did a theater program, a year-long conservatory program. One of the things that we did in that program, and I did it with a friend, is we had this list of adjectives. I think it was like 4 columns or something like that. We'd go to a bookstore. Me or my friend would go just kind of wander and look at the shelves. And the other one was tasked with going to people and saying, hey, could you do us a favor? We're doing this experiment. I have this sheet, it has these adjectives. See that guy over there? Could you just tell me which of these adjectives circle the adjectives that this guy makes you think of, or qualities this guy makes you think of. And basically what it was to get an idea of your type, because, people talk about typecast, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's a bad thing, and it can be, but it's also something that you should know, right? Because when you're going out for a role, you want to know, does that fit your type? Great if it does, but if it doesn't, let's see what you can do.
Creepy old man shit.
The Amber Alert.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
Deric, on your content, talk about some of your brands, like what you're influencing people doing something. What is that something?
My brands, like what, like just the type of content that I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so comedy is the key.
So you're a funny guy?
Everything I do has a flair.
Tell me a quick joke now. Go.
Absolutely not. That's not the way it works, Pete. It's not the way it works. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 13 years, 14 years, on and off stage, but TikTok is like my resurgence of comedy. Okay. I would say my two niches would be like observational comedy, and then self-deprecation is the second big one. So I think really I've merged those two things together with the content that I make on TikTok. And it's also just been like a life journey, like learning who I am, and it all comes back to not caring what people think of the content I make, because I'm not making it for them. I make it for me. And then I just so happen to have found a following. Like one of the things that gets under my it doesn't get under my skin. That's a big thing to say. But when I see these creators,
yeah, it does. See that?
No, well, you'll hear me out afterwards, and I think it'll make more sense. But like these creators that have, what even my size, 500,000 or 1 million, 2 million, and they make a TikTok video being like, man, fucking algorithm taking my views away, and they get like bummed out about their views, and I don't relate to it at all, because it's cool, but it's not why I do what I do. Like if I post a video that gets 2,000 views, that's the game we play. We're not fucking hitting home runs every pitch. Sometimes you're going to strike out. Sometimes you hit a ground out, a pop fly, a home run, a double, a triple, and you just got to take it all for what it comes. I think some people get so addicted or so entitled that, look at me, I'm BoldFam. Every video I post should get 1 million views, and it's like, oh, that's so annoying, and it's so inauthentic to me from a creator, because it just tells me immediately, you're not doing this because you love it. You're doing this because you think you're building towards something that you want in the future. And I just love the moment that I have. What I was telling Brian, I think one of the times that we connected, one of the things that gives me the most joy is when a parent will comment and be like, dude, you just made me feel normal. And not you're hilarious, you made me feel normal. It's like, damn, dude, like that's such a good feeling as a creator, as a performer, that something I did like moved someone, not in a laughing way, but like as a validating kind of thing. And that's what keeps me posting and keeps me going.
That is a good feeling. I think, and I take what you're saying there. I mean, like, the idea you're really having like an impact, but that you didn't really anticipate too, right? I've had people comment on videos that I didn't really think too much of, in terms of gravity or insight or whatever, and people would comment on it and something, pretty heartfelt. They'd say something pretty heartfelt. And, you just sort of, it's kind of awesome. You just sort of stand back and like, wow, that's kind of
me.
Cool. well, but more than that, like that's cool. But like I don't know. It's just nice. It's just nice to be able to like have.
Well, I think it makes it feel bigger. You're turning
into
something bigger than yourself. Yeah, I didn't just post this for the LOLs. Like it's now transcended the lol. Now it is like, oh, this person's struggling with her children that are, doing XYZ. And now she's like, fuck, I'm not alone. Or he's like, I'm not alone. This is normal to sometimes get pissed at your kids. It's normal to sometimes be like, shut the fuck up, please.
Yeah. And and it's nice to know that, well, it's sort of like this confirmation, like, you know what, it is good that I'm doing this, I guess. It is okay that I'm doing this, I guess, because people are having this, positive experience. People do get it. But there is this group that does get something very positive Right?
There is one thing that's kind of contributed to this like last probably year and a half, 2 years of like my creative journey, and it's actually going to probably start off sounding weird. I wanted to be more irrational.
Does it involve pickles?
Yeah, oh, let's not talk about that one. That one can't be recorded.
Pickles?
I wanted to be more irrational.
Yeah.
Because and the people that I think of right off the top of my head, irrational and political stuff aside, Donald Trump I think is extremely irrational. Like, I'm the best person in the whole fucking world. There's the guy, what's the guy? He just got arrested in like Belgium or something. The guy that's all about like he talks shit about women a lot.
Yeah. I don't remember his name. Yeah.
Don't know. Irrational, just so irrational.
Yeah.
But they have this visceral following, and people are like taking note of the shit that they're saying. And what I noticed about me was not necessarily passive, but I was very even keeled. Like if you said something crazy, I could rationalize it and find my middle on both sides of the equation. It's like, all right, I can understand what they're saying. And it just wasn't exciting because I don't have that kind of personality. Like I'm not a very in the middle kind of person. So I wanted to challenge myself to just fucking be a little bit irrational. Like I don't have to be centered. I can have some things that I say that are sometimes a little one way or the other. And the TikToks that I make about parenting are my way of promoting that about myself. Like I can say things that might sound a little not normal, but that's fine. That's who I am. I'm not you. I'm not you. I'm not you. I'm me.
Well, and it's helping me
flex a little bit.
I think we call that Rawthentic. If you're not, they're going to tune out because as they're flipping through, it's like, real, fake, real, fake.
Yeah.
Oh, real, right? So
my wife taped up words all over my house. All just one word, authentic, or be irrational. And she taped them up. I think I have like 13 of them around the house because she wanted to remind me of what I wanted to do. And they have worked. Like I check in, like I go open the cabinet. It's like, be irrational. It's like, all right, let's go.
That's cool. I like that. You got yourself a good wife there.
I do.
Yeah, I mean
we all need a second wife.
She's not available.
I thought you were mine.
Hey guys, feelings aren't bricks, words aren't bricks.
That's right.
Just saying. For my
let's all pause and just take a minute to think about that.
Thank you.
So, do you know? Have you watched Malcolm in the Middle, Deric?
Yeah.
You know the dad on there?
Of course, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. Are you talking about like that kind of irrationality, or I'm trying to picture?
Oh Jesus, I don't know if I can recall Malcolm in the Middle enough to remember like what his character was like.
It's just like
so the Breaking Bad guy.
Well, let me give you guys an example.
Yeah, give an example.
I say fuck a lot, and I don't care who I'm with. In that,
but the algorithm.
Yeah, no. The algorithm doesn't care, obviously, because I don't think that I've gone a video in the last year that hasn't said the word fuck in it. Sometimes I say, I'm not going to say it on this podcast unless you guys have solid editing content, but we'll move past it. So one of the things about me that I've learned, I'm very chameleon. Like, as I was growing up, and maybe it was from like the way I grew up as a kid, but I always wanted to blend in with who I was with as a form of like, I want to be accepted. I want to be like these people, so they want to continue to be with me, blah, 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 blah. But then I found myself, I didn't know who I was. It's like, who is Deric without a group of people that he needs to pander to? So now this might go, I'm learning where my pendulum is swinging as a human, but I don't censor myself anymore. Because if you don't like that I say fuck sometimes, you're just not my people. I'll go find my people. I am my own tribe leader, and I want the people that love me for me to come and be with me. So when I say I be more irrational, maybe another way of saying it is I want to just be so authentically me that there is no other way to slice it up. Like, that's just who Deric is, and his opinions are this way, or whatever his behaviors are like.
Acquired taste.
I went to a wedding this last weekend, and I'm sitting there having dinner, and I think I can't remember what happened, but I was like, I was saying like, oh fuck, blah blah blah. Dude, these two old women were dying laughing. Like all night. I texted my wife, I was like, I honestly feel like I'm performing. Like I feel like I'm putting on a show right now. I love making people happy. I love making them laugh. And it feels so good to do it.
That's like a drug.
in the boundaries of me. I didn't need to do I didn't need to try. I just had to open my mouth and just be myself. And I found these people that naturally gravitated towards me. Yeah. So a really long way of explaining what irrational means to me. It's just, I don't give a shit about the people that view my content and like it or not.
I think I asked you this before. You know, what was it that got you to start the TikTok account?
So a few years ago, I had grown from all my 20s. I was just grinding to be successful because I thought money was the answer. You know, I get it all. I got everything I wanted. I was a VP of sales at a big tech company. And for like 3 or 4 years, I did nothing creative, nothing funny. Maybe once a year, I would go do some random comedy show, but that was like it. And we had started Wicked Bold in 2019, and I think it was it must have, maybe it was St. Patrick's Day 2020. I did a video in my backyard, like pretending to be a leprechaun finding Wicked Bold chocolate, and I posted it to Instagram. And I mean, it blew up, but I mean, maybe a few thousand views on Instagram, but a bunch of people were commenting, haha, that's so funny. And it got me to start dabbling in TikTok, and me and my wife kind of, me and my wife kind of took turns posting. But I started to really like refine that creativity in me, and it came at a really important time for me because I was like getting burnt out at that job. Like you know, it was one of those things where I was looking around, and like I said, I had everything that I wanted. I was making a ton of money. I had the house, a brand new truck, everything I ever thought that I wanted. And I was so miserable and unhappy that I was like spiraling a little bit. So it was a really good opportunity, and I think a medicine for me to go create again.
Yeah.
And I just started loving the process, like making these off the wall videos, or maybe not off the wall back then, but like just creating. And I just never stopped. There was one point in time I posted a video where I was returning a car to Enterprise, and it got like 30 million views. This was back in 2021. It was the first video that I'd ever posted that like went viral. It was wild.
That's pretty.
It was also a really, really good check-in for me, because for like the weeks that followed that video, I was so anxious because I had all this attention, and I was like, oh my God, I want to keep it going. But I was like, I'm not going to go to like stores and keep doing this, because I had answered a phone at Enterprise, and I was like, dude, you're 30. Like you have children. You're not going and being this like dink that goes and, you know, answers businesses' phones. So I had to come to terms with, and I'm glad it happened, but I forced myself to break away from the attention. And obviously it was hard, really hard, because I do love the attention, but I wanted to separate why I made content and define it for like, I made it because I enjoyed making it, and hopefully I will find the tribe that likes me, versus, oh, this worked, this was popular, let me keep doing that. And fortunately, I went to the former, where
and you're 34. Can you imagine the teenagers pointing towards the social dilemma? How, you know, they want to be liked and, you know, compare.
I think social media should be regulated like alcohol and tobacco and firearms for kids, because I actually have a video in my drafts right now. I'm struggling on if I'm going to post it or not, because it's a little bit of a call out, and I think the person that made the comments like a teenager. But I don't think their brains are developed enough. And you and I were talking about this, Brian, to be able to like take criticism and not eat it with their whole body and like
internalize.
Make that, you know, like, because, oh, now I remember we did talk about this, because like there could be times where if you catch me at like a lower moment, I can read a comment and I could be like, wow, that I can get myself. That's usually where my angry content that I never post comes out. And I know it, like, as I'm making the video, if I'm being mean, it means that they've kind of triggered me a little bit. And I can kind of, you know, separate myself. But kids, their brains are not prepared for that much overwhelming amount of negativity that the internet can bring. And I think it's insane that it's not regulated more.
I think that's that's the tip of the iceberg for sure, man.
Well, all technology.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, Doc, you know, all technology, you know, preschoolers and, you know, the blue light, all that crap, you know.
Yeah, man. I one of the things I'm talking about in did I just shut this off?
No, you're still going. Fortunately.
So I can't see it, but whatever.
Oh, we can see you fine.
So So one of the things I'm writing about in this book is I talk about there's the COVID virus, but there's an equally toxic other virus that doesn't have a molecular structure, but it's infecting us. It doesn't affect us, our respiratory system. It affects our brains, and it's hate and it's division, and it's spreading across the United States. And one of the ways that it propagates is through social media channels. And people will how you can get infected with this is when you engage in these back and forths, and you feel it, right? When you take in what somebody says, and you can swallow that whole and let that affect you, or you can engage with them, and what you're doing is you're propagating it, this kind of this disease, this virus or whatever, and it really does. It can affect you, I think, well beyond the time that you spent on the screen. I mean, people will be preoccupied and distracted by the things that they see or the comments that people make, and then it sort of gets them all off track as far as what they're doing with their time. And I think teenagers and children are especially vulnerable. I mean, and like you said, I mean, you'll listen to people who are stars, famous.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why there's addiction centers around Hollywood, making $1 million or billions of dollars, I should say. It's not fun, really. I mean, like, being famous can be really, really dangerous.
Oh, dude, Brian, I'm telling you right now, dude. It's funny. I have, 500,000 followers. There's probably at least that many people that fucking hate me. Like, I've seen comments on some videos that like people will stitch or whatever, and I'll just stumble, and it's like just as many thousands of comments my video can get, being like, "Oh, you're so relatable." This person's video is like, "I'll fucking punch this bitch in his face." It's like horrendous. And I try to not pay any attention to it. But yeah, dude, for like a child's mind, or like if that's all you're consuming it, you can only see it so many times before you start like internalizing it. And it's also kind of interesting because like I'm dabbling into things that I'm not like necessarily equipped to talk through, but like your fight or flight response, you don't get to actually engage it through a comment. Like there is no fight and no flight. You just kind of like sit with it. And I'm curious if like that has something to do with this internet toxicity. Is like, you can't just go punch him in the face or yell at him or run away. It's just there.
I think it is part of the contagion. I think that what happens is that people, they act it out in different ways in their homes or their environments or to themselves. I think that's what they do. And I do think you're right. The fight or flight does get kicked in.
Well, dopamine's worse than crack for these kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, in terms of the clicks and
you're trying to catch the next high.
Oh, dude, my son Landon loves taking pictures of weather. Like he loves clouds and like cool looking like sunsets and shit. And he'll sometimes take pictures and send it to me, but he has the weather app. He has some weather app on his phone. And he took this really good picture and he posts it to this weather like forum or whatever. And when he posts it, he's like, "All right, man, I'm gonna set myself a goal that I get 10 likes on this." And I have to have a check, and I'm like, first of all, bub, you can't control how many people like the shit that you post. you can't control that. And I try to reframe him to get him into if he likes it, then do it consistently, and reframe him to say, if you love what you do, make yourself a goal to post 10 pictures.
Like
that
yourself.
You can control, that you can find success in. You can't find success in what you do becoming something that someone else engages with and likes. But that's what the kids think.
Basing your success on somebody else's approval is can be a very dangerous. It's playing fire, right?
But I think that is what we've groomed these kids to do with social media, is they post to be liked, not to show what their interests are, but to see how many different likes they can get. And I think you can see that in some really like bad trends, that you can like humiliating people because it will go viral. Yeah. Because they'll get the laughs and the ha-ha-has, positive or negative, they'll get the response. And I think that's super dangerous.
I do too. And I think it is in a way, and I don't want to overstate it, but it's a loaded weapon in some ways that they don't really, you're giving a child, something that they really don't understand the power of it. And neither do the
parents.
Adults.
Don't understand.
Neither do the adults. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's bullying on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Deric Cahill, Dr. Brian Razzino, riveting. Another riveting episode of Bite Size Therapy. Thank you so much.
Let's have you on again, Deric.
I would love it.
And keep me posted on the chocolate. I'm gonna be looking. I've got Walmarts around here, but I don't know if it's one of yours.
If you go to the website Wicked Bold, the very first thing is store locator, and it will geo-target where you're at and show you like within the next like 10 or 15 miles if you have any stores that carry us.
Fucking road trip, baby.
I just want to take a bite and say your chocolate sucks, man.
Keep that to yourself, dude. Euthos, remember, euthos. All right, I'll see you guys
boys,
later.
We're doing this again. Bye.
Bye.